it. I love it. But I also wanted folks to remember, hey, this is where it came from. Uh, oh, okay. Oh my gosh. All right. And there we are live on YouTube. So welcome everybody to our Tuesday morning with friends. And we are reading chapter 15 of A Course in Miracles, the Holy Instant. And we had, I think were we done with the
I
Holy,
I think we were on paragraph 5, Lynn, but that could be from another night.
section 5? Are we in section 5, the
I
Holy
don't
Ritual?
know what section we were in, but I vaguely in the back of my mind I'm remembering we were in paragraph 5.
Oh, well, then this is perfect. I love it. Uh, yeah, okay, yay. All righty, let us get it up on the screen. And let's see. So yeah, so this what I'm reading from comes from the Foundation for Inner Peace. And if you go to their website, I'm just going to back up so people can know, because I think there's a lot of people that don't know. If you go to acim.org, O-R-G, and we'll try to take you to Awakening Together. No, 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 that's not where we're going. All right. Why did that happen? Oh, because I put a comma. It's a comma mistake on my part. Because I do not see well. And so even with a lighted keyboard, I got a keyboard that's got lights around. So here we are. So this is acim.org. And if you go here to this where it says read ACIM and click on entire web edition, then it opens it up to the entire web edition of the course. And then you can just, what I do is just come over here, click on the text, and just go to chapter 15 and section 5. And there we are, the Holy Instant and Special Relationships. And who would like to read 15:5:5? I love that. I think you're right, Mickey. That
And
sounds
and I would love to read this paragraph because this is one of my favorite sentences. Because you guys know that I have this whole thing with specialness. I'm obsessed with specialness and how to get rid of it. So,
what's
and,
your special
and
function?
I think I've mentioned before, I keep having this idea in my head about writing a book, and I have nothing but the title in my head. And the title of the book is The Good News is You're Not That Special. And it is, because I've had a battle all my life with wanting to be special and wanting people to, because of the foundational belief in unworthiness that we all have. I really latched onto that very early in life.
Yeah.
And so I always felt that nobody noticed me, nobody paid attention to me, I was neglected as a child, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, my obsession was with trying to be special. And as soon as I figured out what the course was talking about, I was like, this is the basis of all my problems, my desire to be special. So I have this, thing in my head that, I need to tell the world that that's our problem. And, and so that spark of an idea came in from spirit years ago And I just haven't had any desire to act on it. But anyway, long story short, I like this. I like this first sentence, so I'll start reading it. The Holy Spirit knows no one is special, yet he also perceives that you have made special relationships, which he would, oh, let me put my glasses on, which he would purify and not let you destroy. So yeah, Holy Spirit knows we're going to have special relationships all over the place, and he doesn't want us to destroy them. He just wants to purify them. However unholy the reason you made them may be, he can translate them into holiness by removing as much fear as you will let him. You can place any relationship under his care and be sure that it will not result in pain if you offer him your willingness to have it serve no need but his. All the guilt in it arises from your use of it, all the love from his. Do not then be afraid to let go your imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. Your only need is his. And yeah, like I said, I've spent my whole life wanting people who I know and love to treat me like I'm some special person that needs to be taken care of, that can't take care of herself. And if I just place all of that under Holy Spirit's guidance, Holy Spirit will eventually allow me to let go of that and turn all of those relationships into holy relationships. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. And it's interesting to me because as you were reading and talking about this, of course, I experienced this. This is not an unusual experience because this feeling of lack and smallness and potential abandonment and being ignored and all of these things, absolutely are, what the whole reason for the tiny mad idea, I think it's part of our shared experience, um, and so it's not special to want to be special. It's normal and natural for an ego who believes that it is lacking something, that something is that less than. And what I have actually really come to realize and recognize is what we really want is to feel equal, as good as, the same as other people. And we perceive ourselves as being unequal, less than, smaller than, uh, and but boy, if you ever let me, I could show you something really cool. There's something in me that is really wonderful. You just can't see it because you don't see me. You don't see me. That's a plea for equality. It's a plea to say, look at me and see me as I am. And we ask the world to do that. But the reality of it is, I'm not looking at me and seeing me as I am. All I'm seeing is evil, darkness, and sin. All I'm seeing is these things that I think are make me less than. And so, this desire for specialness, we're just trying to equalize the picture. We just want to bring ourselves up to that, and it may not be the same with you. You maybe want to be better than, but I don't think in general that we go around wanting to be better than. Uh, we go around wanting to be seen as the same and equal, to be recognized for what we are. Um, anyway, that's just the thought I had. Karen, yeah, please go ahead.
I agree with that. I agree with that. That is perfect, Lynn. Thank you for sharing that. And I when I think about it, I think about the reason that I ended up getting divorced. One of the main reasons I ended up getting divorced was because I didn't feel like I was his equal. Towards the end, just didn't feel like I was his equal. And it just didn't feel good to me. And I just wanted us to be equal. And finances was the main issue with me at that time, particular time. We're talking, 2009, this was a long time ago. But it was that. That's what it was. I mean, we're equal. We're equal. We're sharing. We're partners. We share everything. And nobody should be above anyone. And nobody should be, I have more. This is mine. And it's just terrible. It's a terrible feeling in any relationship. So I think that's exactly it. And that's for every relationship, not just a marriage. But I love this paragraph, and what jumped out at me this time, because it's always different every time I read it. It's always the same, but it's different. The very last sentence where he says, "Do not then be afraid to let go your imagined needs, which would destroy the relationship. Your only need is his." So that is the key right there. Letting go of all the imagined needs, everything that I think it should be, with this special relationship and my idea of what special is. And of course, like Mickey, I had to be number one in that relationship. I was number one, and if I wasn't number one, I wasn't a happy camper. In this marriage, I am number one, and I was not number one. His mother became number one, and I did not like that a little bit. And I didn't think it was, I'm like, you're married to me, not your mother. And so it's a big long thing, but it's your only need is his. And I think that's the key. The key that I learned is this is for me, putting the Holy Spirit first in every relationship, because as lesson 25 tells us, I do not know what anything is for. And then I think it's, maybe I forget, but I think it might be lesson 24 that, I don't know I don't know if this is the right lesson, but I don't know my own best interests. I don't know what my own best interests are. So the Holy Spirit does know. And if I give it to him, the Course tells us that the Holy Spirit's kind perception of specialness is that he will heal everything that you use to harm. He will heal it. So that's the key for me now for every relationship, is to ask the Holy Spirit, what is this for? Because I do not know. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. And yeah, I mean it's like you begin the relationship because it's unequal. You think that you're giving more than you're getting, and that's a sacrifice. And you know, uh, who wants to be in a relationship where you're being asked to sacrifice all the time? And that's in equality there is no sacrifice. And so that's what these relationships are here to show us. I love that. I love that so much. um, and Rafi has said, releasing my feelings, my feelings of my imagined needs is the basis of releasing. Yeah, and really, uh, it is just letting go. That's what we were just reading in lesson 189. You know, you don't even have to do it. You just have to let him do it. Where they would say, I don't want this anymore. And God will take the last step. He'll do it. We don't think you think God's taking the last step when I've done all the work and I've done all the, achieved all the, goals and become all the, this and that or nothing or whatever it is I want to become. No, God is right here all the time. Has never left us. That's the problem. It's not this, we don't have to heal the separation. We have to recognize it never happened. Recognizing it never happened is just turning around and seeing the truth. So that's it. The only thing that we really need is this holy relationship. which is the relationship of the Holy Spirit with the Holy Spirit within. And Karen, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. And I just wanted to add to that that these special relationships are really important too, because they teach us, they're our classroom, and they teach us the lessons we came here to learn. I learned so many valuable lessons from that relationship. I really, really did. So it really teaches us, how we can more so listen to the Holy Spirit, and how we can more so recognize that we do not know what anything is for, and recognize that love is not sacrifice. Love is not bargaining. Love is not, unequal, and so all these things that we go through in our different relationships bring us to where we are now, where we recognize the truth, and we have to go through the darkness to get to the light. So the special relationships are very valuable because they are a perfect classroom to really teach us what we came here to learn. So I'm just grateful for that. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And that's yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely it. They're here for a reason. And but all we have to do is again place the relationship under his care. Offer him your willingness to have serve no need but his. That's all. That is what translates that special relationship into a holy relationship, is just letting the Holy Spirit be in charge. The simplest thing. Anybody want to read paragraph 6?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Rafi.
Any relationship you would substitute for another has not been offered to the Holy Spirit for his use. There is no substitute for love. If you would attempt to substitute one aspect of love for another, you have placed less value on one and more on the other. You have not only separated them, but you have also judged against both. Yet you have judged, yes, you had judged against yourself first, or you would never have imagined that you needed your brother as they were not. Unless you had seen yourself as without love, you could not have judged them so like you in lack. Well, that's perfect. We torture ourselves wanting love, wanting love, wanting love, because the ego has no clue that that's what we are. If if we had just realigned and realized that everything is love, all that other stuff would just vanish because it isn't real to begin with.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, that's it. uh, it's substituting everything for nothing. It's just crazy, and we can allow the Holy Spirit to use it. Anybody have any thoughts about this? And yeah, Bob says the specialness of marriage offers an infinite number of forgiveness opportunities. Yep, that's very true. Karen, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just looking at this little note. I have this little sticky note here on this page, and it says it's from chapter 18, section 2, paragraph 5, and it says the special relationship is your determination to keep your hold on unreality and to prevent yourself from waking. So it's like, so the special relationship keeps us asleep, and we will not wake up because we're going to believe that this is better than the love of God. This special relationship is where it's at. And he's basically telling us here, you had judged against yourself first because you have forgotten the truth of what you are. I'm judging against myself. I'm actually attacking myself, and I'm attacking myself because I am disowning my keys to the kingdom, because my kingdom is this special relationship in my tiny little um small K kingdom when I could be in the large K kingdom, because I would rather be asleep. So it keeps us in hell. And that's what the ego gets used to. And we get used to that. And it's like, it's really about waking up. It's really about what Lynn said earlier about every special relationship transformed into the holy relationship. So it's just all that little note. And it is a determination to keep your hold on reality and to prevent yourself from waking. So I just thought I'd share that. Thanks.
I love that, Karen. Absolutely. I mean, that's it. And just face it. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, one of the great discoveries I made was that this ego mind is a judging machine. It's constantly judging, evaluating, making excuses, giving reasons, rationalizing, uh, making explanations, and saying those people out there are doing all of that to you. They're judging you. Well, when I looked at it, I said, there's no people out there, okay? It's just the mind going on saying that there's a watcher out there, that there's a confronter out there, that there's a judger out there, that there's an attacker out there, that there's an enemy out there. There's no out there out there. And I realized it was just this ego machine going on and on and on and on and on and on. So as soon as I took a step back and took a look at all of that, everything that it could come up as saying these people are no good, or that guy is no good, or she's no good, and you got to watch it. All of that just dissolved and went away. It just all evaporated. And then I could see everybody as the divine love that they are, including the people who are supposed to be the world's biggest villains, like Trump and Putin and people like that. You see the divine love in them that they really are, and how whatever this pretense that they have as a person is serving me to see that I can see them as the truth and not as that insane puppet that they appear to be. So it was quite an awakening for me, and I just all love it. I was so grateful that I was able to get to that point.
Thank you so much, Rafi. Yes, absolutely. And the lesson that comes up to me is the one that always comes up to me whenever I hear these things. It's I believe 268. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let me not be your critic today, O Lord. Judge against your creation. That's, that's probably not quote verbatim, but that's basically what it's saying is, what, let me not be judging against anything because everything is perfect just the way it is. And as we're seeing here in the course, the only thing that is happening that is not to my liking is my not liking it is me. Karen, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Rafi. What you just said was so perfect and such a great reminder that there is no one out there. And that's where this sentence comes in, that yet you had judged against yourself first, or you would never have imagined that you needed your brothers as they were not. So it kind of goes in line with what you and them were both saying. Let all things be exactly as they are. My brother doesn't need to be any different. He's not even there. It's my projection. So I have judged against myself. I have judged against the truth of what I am because I'm seeing separation. And then when I can allow all things to be exactly as they are, everything's perfect. There's nothing wrong. I'm judging against myself, and I'm judging against what is happening now, which is the only reality there is. And this is I'll tell you, this is a daily practice. I mean, this is a moment to moment. It can be so easy to get caught up in this quote unquote world, and to be conscious of this on a daily basis, and to really, as you know, Rafi does the releasing on a daily basis, just for same thing. It's forgiving on a daily basis, remembering to forgive my illusions, Father, for they are not true. Thanks.
Yeah, wow, wonderful, wonderful sharing. I'm just blown away by just how willing we are to look at this stuff, because this is the key to our happiness. This is the key to I feel the love of God within me now. And I love that Jesus is so emphatic that it has to do, we need our brothers, but we need them as they are, not as they are not. When we try to change our brothers to be what we would like them to be, then we have undone uh, the reality of what they are. We put a mask on them, we put a suit on them, and we've given them uh, we've given them our own view. We've painted a portrait that is not real at all. So uh, this idea, and this is where again I came to this thought about equality that we were talking about earlier. um, you would If you would attempt to substitute one aspect of love for another, you have placed less value on one and more on the other. You have not only separated them, but you have judged against both. But you judge against yourself first. I judge against myself first. And then I accuse my brother of that judgment. And I've told the story many times, I'm sure, of a person that I became friends with, but I didn't. I went to their home, and their home was like immaculate. Of course, they just lived there with a roommate and their daughter, and they had a housekeeper come in once a week to clean their house and all this stuff. I live in a house where I had all these children and dogs and animals, and just really it's a lot more peaceful now, but at the time it was quite kind of chaotic, because there was lots of people and lots of activity going on all the time. And so my house was not immaculate at all. So I went to the person's house. I said, my house does not compare to this person's house. And then I said to myself, they would not like to come to my house because they'd be disturbed by all the chaos. So they are not a good person. I judged against them for my perception that they were going to judge against me. I made up a story, and I went with that in my head for a long time, thinking they disapprove of me because of my messy house. They never even been in my house. That was the thing. They never even been in my house. So who was judging who about what? but 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 until I saw that, and quit holding it, I held it against them. I seriously held it against them. I'm like, you don't think I'm good enough. You don't think I'm equal. And there's there again, that whole idea. I was the one who made up the story in the first place. And that person would probably never have said a word if they came to my house, and probably been intrigued and looking around going, wow, look at all this artwork, look at all these cool things, these people are interesting, you know that's what I think. But obviously I think the world sees something different. But when I gave up that idea that they were judging me for that, then I could feel comfortable, and not 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 judge against them as also. Anyway, anybody else have any thoughts about this? Yeah, and Dove has posted in the chat, analyzing the motives of others is hazardous to you. And that's from chapter 12 of the Course in Miracles. Yes. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was analyzing another person's motive and judging harshly against them for their judgment against me that had never even occurred because they had never even been to my house. So this is, you know, hey, Hansi. Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing? I'm glad to see you in the room.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
Karen, Karen, go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening last night to Deirdre when you had him on, and he was sharing the same exact thing, Lynn, that you just shared. And this is what we do. He was saying, I mean, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was talking about not being supported, not feeling supported.
Yes.
But he was being supported, but he believed he wasn't being supported. So he made it come true for him. He made it come true for him because that is what he believed, and it wasn't the truth. He can tell the story better. I mean, but that's just my point is it's the same exact thing he said last night. And that is what the ego does. And we forget that we have asked for everything that is happening to us. We chose it. It was our decision, and we take full responsibility. There's no one to blame. And you're seeing that now. I mean, you see it after the fact, of course. I could say that for a million things, and that's why these special relationships and these learning lessons are so valuable, because we have to go through it to learn that that's not the truth. You know, you go like the course really reminds us of that we really have to go through that darkness to get to the light. We can't just skip over it. You know, that's how we learn our lesson. So that's a huge lesson you learned. I mean, that's a huge lesson that can be transferred into every situation, because we don't know. We're assuming because that's what we think, and then but we make it true for us because we're projecting it, and then we make it real. So I just wanted to point that out, that Diedrich was sharing that exactly what you said. Thanks.
Yeah, that talk by Diedrich is just so beautiful. And now honestly, amazing. I was so lucky to be there in person when it happened, but I'm grateful to have the recording too. But yeah, the whole thing is that um, it's all my own judgment of my own self in my own mind and that's really the only thing that's happening here. There's nothing else happening here. So yes, you do what you project is what you see. As Carrie Triffitt said one time in this room, if it's on my screen, it must be coming from my projector. So that's it. And so that's my own judgment, my own thoughts. Um, so anyway, are we ready to move on to paragraph 7? And welcome again, Oddsy. I hope that Wayne is coming today. I have missed seeing your sweet face and hearing your sweet voice. So anybody want to read paragraph 7?
I will read it.
You will.
Yes. The ego's use of relationships is so fragmented that it frequently goes even farther. One part of one aspect suits its purposes, while it prefers different parts of another aspect. Wow, isn't that the truth? I see that happening. Thus does it assemble reality to its own capricious liking, offering for your seeking a picture whose likeness does not exist. For there is nothing in heaven or earth that it resembles, and so, however much you seek for its reality, you cannot find it because it is not real. Wow, isn't that amazing? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's like a Frankenstein, that Frankenstein's creature that he built, right? He took one part from one and one part from another and put them all together, and then he put an abnormal brain in it, and it turned into a a Peter Boyle walking around singing Broadway tunes. But anyway, that's what we do. We take one part and one thing that we like and another thing that we like, and that's how we put together. I mean, think about has anybody ever done a dream board or a storyboard? Here's what I want. This is the house. This is the career, whatever. That's what we're doing, is we're putting together a story of what we want to see. And so but then when we put it together the way we want to see it, it turns out to be a nightmare, because there's nothing real about it. We've just taken parts and bits and pieces, so it doesn't resemble anything real, and it's going to be just a nightmare, because the minute something breaks its promise, the minute the person in the relationship goes outside of the bounds, does something that gambles away your life savings, or goes out with another person, or whatever it is, the moment that thing breaks it, the love is gone. The love is no longer the same love that it was. And it becomes a love um well, it's always been a love that's conditional. It's all been conditional on, you do what I like and don't do what I don't like, and I'll hang out with you. And that's all relationships. That's family relationships. That's country relationships. That's all relationships. So, really look at what I consider a good relationship. How much of it is based on reality, you know, or is it all based on a story? And painful as that may seem, until you look at it and see the truth about it, you can't have a holy relationship with somebody. You cannot have a holy relationship. You can only have a special relationship because it's based on certain conditions. So, anybody else have anything they'd like to say about this paragraph? Karen, yes, please.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. That was great. And thank you for reading, Audrey. Good to see you. Also, what's coming to me is that the ego seeks but does not find. So the ego is seeking outside of itself, like when you were talking about the vision board and all that other stuff in this paragraph in particular. So that the ego is seeking, and the ego's use of relationships is so fragmented that it frequently goes even farther. One part of one aspect suits its purposes. It's like one kind of love. There's different kinds of love. He talks about that in lesson 127. There is no love but God's. There's only one love, the love of God, which is an all-inclusive, eternal love. But the ego is finding love in all the wrong places, and it's fragmented because it just doesn't work. It's different kinds of love, special this, special that, higher, lower, better, worse, bigger, all of it. And it's seeking outside. It's not looking within to the truth of what we really are and reflecting that onto our brother to see the equality, to make the relationship equal and make the relationship holy, which is coming down to, I accept the atonement for myself. And when my mind is healed, the whole world is healed and everybody is seen as one. Now that's, glimpses here and there, not always, but I'm just saying that is what the course is teaching us. And that is what this paragraph is reminding me of, that we will never find anything. We will continue to seek, and we will never find it because it's not real. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, which is, I mean, eventually you just become so frustrated. You have to say there's got to be a better way, because otherwise it, makes no sense at all. And welcome, Roger. Glad to have you here with us. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting a greater sense of the pointlessness of all of this mental activity. I mean, mine goes on and on and on and on. Oh, I got to build a villa by the sea. Oh, and I got to go. Oh, yeah, I got to get her cleaners. And that neighbor boy, she plays that music so loud at night, I could just kill her. And I went to, and then is my daughter going to graduate this year, or is she going to? I got to, all of these thoughts have no substance. We decide which one, I mean, the mind decides within itself if we identify with it. If we identify with any of that, we're dead ducks. But if we don't identify with anything, you look back and all of these thoughts have absolutely no substance. They give themselves substance or evaluation. If we step back and don't identify with any of it, and look at it and say, well, there's that jumble of all of these thoughts. All of these things are carrying on, all of these feelings. I need this. I want that. I can't have that. I better not get this. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? Holy shit, what's going to happen to me? My God, I'm getting older. I'm going to die. Oh no, oh, wait a minute. I got to go to the, I got to water my plants on the porch. Oh my God, they're all equal. They have no substance whatsoever unless we identify with them. Stand back, watch that craziness go on, that cacophony go on, and then get to the point where you can get it quiet, let go of all of the feelings, and so because when you release a feeling, you're also releasing subconscious thoughts underneath that you didn't even know were there. Thank you very much, God. Um, and you get to the quiet that is beyond the mind, and that's reality.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Rafi. And yes, that's it. It just it just recognize what's real and what's not real. And uh, that's it. Oh my gosh. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share on this paragraph before we move on? All right. Let's look at paragraph 8. Who would like to read paragraph 8?
Oh, sorry, Lynn. I did want to share with
Oh,
what I want to share what I put in the chat
oh,
because
okay.
I had to look up the word capricious because I kind of knew what it meant, but I just wanted the words there again and I just want to read it. So capricious is an adjective to describe a person or thing that's impulsive and unpredictable, like a bride who suddenly leaves her groom standing at the wedding altar. And Mickey answered, yes, the ego is like a capricious bridezilla. You do things my way or else. And I feel like I can identify with that, just that impulsiveness, the unpredictability. I mean, I even had talked about that. My mom was here the other day and we were talking about my past and just how Mike stayed with me through all of this capriciousness. And I said to Mom, if he hadn't, I don't think I'd have made it. And my mom said, no, I think you would be on a corner somewhere probably. And that was kind of surprising to me because I thought, maybe it's not so bad, the past, but it was pretty bad. And not in the sense of good or bad judging, just that, the point of it all is I said to my mom, I asked Mike why he stayed with me, and he said he knew it wasn't who I really was. It wasn't the truth. And he said it was kind of fun. He said sometimes, he would never know who would be on the other side of the door when he came home because it was just such in a flux. What will it be? So yeah, just a really good pointing to me of how reading the course and taking things just in my mind and saying I want to look at this, it really makes a difference, at least in my experience. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Oddsy. Absolutely. And you are absolutely right, because and he is obviously a very astute man, because he could see who you were, and he could also recognize that, the state that you were in, or the things that you were doing, were were not you had in you know and I love that, he said, it's what makes you interesting, or that's I mean, it sounds kind of like that, that it gave him something to be a part of the experience. And isn't that really, I mean, that's honest. Isn't that really why we have all the experiences that we have? Is because it's something that we want to see. So, there it is, the both of you, and wanted to see something that you saw, and we're not afraid of, and didn't break you, just opened you up to be more of who you really are. And isn't that just the greatest gift ever? I can say the same thing with my husband. It's like I've been married to three different people. I went through, how we were when we were first young and together, and he had a really flashy temper, and could really get pretty scary sometimes. And that was, but I knew that that was not him when that happened. That was not really who he was. And he had a lot of darkness in his life, and I just gave him one for that. I just said, that's not who he is. And then, later on, we became, friends, more and more friends, to the point where I was able to actually do there's a place in chapter 31, where Jesus tells us that if you could just see one brother of being wholly worthy of forgiveness, it would completely change your entire world. It would change everything. And so I was working with the Holy Spirit, and asking the Holy Spirit, during the night when I was sleeping, before I would go to sleep, I would say, help me with this thing that I'm trying to do. And it was all these things, to hear only one voice, to recognize that I'm, that I am one with everything in the world, or whatever the question I was working on at the time. So I asked, help me to see one brother as wholly worthy of forgiveness. And and at the same time I was saying that, I said in my mind, but not him, because I don't think I would ever be able to do that. Not him, but I don't think I'd be able to do that. So I went to sleep, and what happens is spirit wakes me up in the middle of the night, and with the answer, it's been going on, and whatever. So I wake up in the night, and I look it over at him, and he's laying there sleeping, and I'm like, okay, I guess you're right, so let's just do this. And so I started, looking at him and releasing my judgments, not going into my stories, just releasing my judgments, seeing him as being wholly worthy of forgiveness, and seeing him as the Christ, the child that he always had been. And as I did that, it was like layers were just peeling off and peeling off and peeling off, until I just saw him as this holy, beautiful, glowing light. And in that holy, beautiful, glowing light, I recognized that that was the essence, that's the truth of who he is, and always has been. And I've always known that through every bit of toil, every bit of trouble that we ever had. I've always known that he was this. And that shifted completely everything. My entire relationship with him, became, you would call it holy relationship. That there is that I adore everything about him, and he adores everything about me. And it's not conditional on you do this or you didn't do that. It really is just the love of being with a being of of this nature. And yes, he still has his smart aleck ways, and there, but he, because that so totally shifted him, because I was seeing him differently, and he has become like a totally different person and does not even recall ever having been that other person. He does have no recollection of ever having been that other person. And the only reason I have a recollection of it is because it's my story. It's my proof that this absolutely does work. And of course, I blame him for nothing, and just see him as the absolute, the most adorable. He's my heart, and nothing he could say or do could change that. So I know it really works. Forgiveness really works, and recognizing the truth about who and what a person is really works. So anyway, that's my story. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Karen, yes, please.
Well, that was beautiful, and thank you for sharing that. And I just want to add to that that I do that now periodically with my husband who passed away, because I wasn't able to while he was here, the way he left so suddenly. And I find it so healing and helpful, because things still come up, and it's beautiful because there's no blocks anymore, there's no judgments anymore, there's just love. So this stuff will come up, and I'm like, I'm really sorry that I whatever, and so it's all being healed, all of it. And so it's never ever too late to forgive, because it doesn't matter. There is no bodies, it's only the mind, it's only the one. So I just wanted to share that, because I used to think that he had to be here for forgiveness, and that is not so. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody has to be here for that. I mean, that because it's all in my mind. So, and they were in my mind. So, yeah, forgive away, because that's a way to release the past. Nothing has to be, I could forgive the whole, slavery and American Revolution, and I could forgive everything, and because it's in my mind. So, and this is how the miracle can heal the past in the present, and collapse time, which is absolutely what it does. All we're doing is healing the past in the present and collapsing time. Rafi, please go ahead.
I just had the most amazing experience. A long time ago, Lester Levinson warned us, said, the reason why you're afraid to go free, why you're afraid to become realized, is because you think you're going to die if you do. So, and we said, oh, yeah, okay. Well, I just experienced that. I looked at, and in my mind came up, you're afraid to admit that you're unlimited because you're afraid you're going to die. And I got, yay! And I got a hold of all of the fear of dying, wanting to survive feelings, and keep bringing them up and letting them. That's what they're there for, to let them go and let them go and let it go. And then I started to chuckle at it, because unlimited is the truth, and the rest of this stuff is just mental gibberish. And whoa! So I kept letting go of more of this fear of dying stuff, because we were never born. We don't exist. We can't die. This is all a dream. And but I was so happy to be able to finally get a hold of that thing that he mentioned years and years ago. I got, yeah, there it is. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Rafi. Thank you so much. And I put away the reading. I'm thinking that Wayne is coming in. I hope he's been traveling, but I was expecting him yesterday, but Ozzy's here. um,
Yeah,
so
I haven't talked to him, so I'm not sure if he's back yet or coming. So I just thought I'd
oh, there he is.
check
Oh
in.
no,
Oh,
yeah, that's
he is.
you.
Oh,
No, that's you that put that up.
ah, yeah. I
But you know
changed
you
my
can read.
background.
Maybe someone else want to read with you.
Yeah, we
Since
could
you're-
read.
All right.